So I just came from seeing the new Puss in Boots movie, and I'm pretty surprised. I wasn't expecting anything that I saw. Keep in mind that I didn't see any trailers before watching this movie, so almost everything about this movie is a complete surprise to me. I saw like pictures, it has a new art style, new animation style as well. I'm kinda surprised that this movie manages to handle 3 antagonists. It handles all of them at the same time without it feeling bloated. And one of the things this movie does extremely well is its use of color. This movie uses a lot of bright colors, it's really saturated. Even in scenes when it uses darker colors, the value in the colors is still pretty high. Here's a few scenes and examples of the movie using colors extremely well. Pretty much just using color to emphasize what's going on the screen. You know, the emotions the character is feeling and what the story is trying to tell us. When Puss in Boots meets death for the first time, well, technically it's like the 8th time. Wait, no, the 9th time. Anyways, when he meets death for the first time in the bark, the color palette changes from this, bright, uplifting, happy-go-lucky color palette to this very dark one. Most of the colors shown are gray and black. Now, black can represent power, elegance, status, death, as well as fear and depression. Now, gray can represent neutrality and balance, as well as other things like depression and loss. Red is a color that dominates the screen for a few seconds when Puss in Boots is about to die, and he gets slightly scratched by the sickle or whatever that thing is called, and blood starts dripping out of his head. It's a very menacing scene, and red can represent danger and courage, as well as passion, anger, love, and joy, but we're mostly talking about the danger and courage part, as well as anger. It's kinda the perfect colors to use when this man Puss in Boots finally starts to fear death. This looming threat across the entire movie. And it's pretty much like this every single time death shows up, except for the final stretches of the movie. Moving on to another scene that uses colors extremely well. When Kitty Softpaws and Puss are having their moment up in the trees, the color that dominates the screen is pink because of the petals. I mean, it is a very lovey-dovey moment between these two cats, but love isn't the only thing that pink can mean. It can also be very playful and nostalgic. And of course, love and romance and intense pinks create a sense of urgency. Or it can create a sense of urgency if it's intense. Which brings me perfectly into the final fight with Death! When this man Death creates a ring of fire around Puss, it's very deep pink. Like a reddish deep pink. And I just came from explaining that type of pink can create a sense of urgency. So yeah, as the fight goes on, there's a point in the fight where Puss dominates. It's essentially like an inversion to what happens in the bar, where he almost dies and Red dominates the screen and he's bleeding and shit. This time Puss is the one that's dominating, and when he gets a hit in on Death, the color that dominates the screen is yellow. Not red, but its close cousin yellow, both warm colors. Yellow can represent happiness, hope, and spontaneity. And that's the color that dominates the scene when Puss in Boots has his last stand against death in this movie. Overall, this movie is pretty fucking amazing. If you haven't seen it, just give it a shot, bro. It's pretty good. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys later, and bye. Fly.